Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Slappin Kpop podcast. For today's episode, I'm with Kayla and Sammi.
Hello.
Hello.
And we're here for another Asian dramas.
For Asian
but this
drama
time,
November.
Yes.
Yay.
But for this episode, I'm here to learn about both Kayla and Sammy's least favorite, borderline hated Asian dramas.
It ain't borderline.
It is actually hate.
Oh,
some
okay.
Of them.
It's active.
So it's active hatred. So I'm excited because so far, if you watched our last Asian drama episode where we talked about Descendants of the Sun, where I promised to go watch it, saying it was their favorite, turned out I wasn't a huge fan. So I'm taking this as
wrong.
a recommendation list. So we'll see if...
I know that my first 3 shows are shows you would actually like, so...
So therefore...
I think that, 2 of my shows he would actually genuinely like.
So I'm excited for the recommendations while Kayla and Sammi share their pain. So I'll let Kayla go first with your first drama.
So I've also seen a lot less dramas than Sammi, so my sample size is a lot smaller. So the first couple of shows that I have aren't necessarily, really bad. They're just not my favorites. It's only, when we get to, the bottom 2 is that, I actively hate the shows. But...
I hate everything I put on this
Sammy's
list.
also seen, 300 dramas, so there's a lot there.
Hey. 200. Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry. But my first drama on my list is Cheese in the Trap. And the reason this drama is here is it's not so much
Do you want to give a little synopsis first about what it's about?
So, Cheese in the Trap is adapted from a manhwa, and it's about the lives and relationships of university students. In particular, there's one girl who's a scholarship student, and then her senior in school, who is a chaebol and rich and whatever.
Rich
I'm
people.
sorry, that sounds like 87 shows.
every K-drama that exists where you have your hot, rich,
Fucking
cold,
man.
cold-hearted person, it's just all more of the same. So, the thing that's really bad about this is, first of all, I also want to mention I also didn't finish several of the dramas on this list because they were too bad. Cheese in the Trap, I got up to the last 2 episodes and was I don't even want to invest any more energy into the ending of the show because it just fell off a cliff towards the end. The storytelling...
Your time is too valuable, Kayla. Your time is too valuable.
The storytelling towards the end fell off a cliff is essentially what happens. Also... gonna put up a spoiler warning for all of these shows because I need to talk about the actual plot of the shows as the reason why I hate them.
There goes my recommendations.
So here's the spoiler warning for Cheese in the Trap is a lot of
for every single show that
so once you hear it in the the beginning of when we start talking about it, all spoilers are gonna be thrown out there.
Basically out just run if you have any interest, but also don't because all of the shows we're recommending are bad, so it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Don't waste your precious, fleeting time on this earth watching them.
Mm-hmm. So I think what really kills this drama is that the production and the writing was having some type of major internal conflict or something while the drama was filming, because Cheese in the Trap was one of the dramas that was filming while it aired, so the storyline was very fluid and could also change while it was airing based on viewer opinion. And so what ended up happening is towards the end of the show, essentially the entire love story got shifted onto the second lead instead of the first lead. And then the actor who plays the first lead wrote several messages on social media how he was actually upset because he thought he was being cheated because this isn't what he signed up for in this drama. He signed up to be the main lead of this drama, and he was getting shoved aside for the second lead, who at the time was a very new rookie actor, and he didn't understand why that was happening or why the drama director decided that that's where they wanted to take the story.
Why they are essentially shoving the show off of a cliff.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. I heard a lot of people who like thought Cheese in the Trap was going off of the rails while they were watching.
It went totally off the rails. It was bad. And the thing is I think that, so they didn't know what to do with the ending because the manhwa was like still being written, so there wasn't an ending, and so they had to come up with their own ending. But they literally just decided to jump off a cliff for the ending, and it was like, we're gonna take like what is least expected or least realistic to be the ending, and that's what we're gonna do. Except for last minute, they decided, well, we should probably put our main lead back into the drama because he's upset now. And so the last couple of episodes, we shoved the second lead to the side, and then we put the first male lead back into the show. And it's just like a disaster. And so because of that, you don't get satisfying stories for either of them, because it was like it's type
like half of a story.
You don't get a complete story for either of them, because they were spending so much time apparently fighting over who was actually the main male lead of this show that you just got nothing at the end.
Great.
Yep.
Cheese in the Trap is one of those shows that's like sort of infamous for its like the fact that its production massively shifted while it was
like screwed it up, really.
I mean, a lot of times like when a show, like most shows that filmed while they aired did not massively shift the plot. They could have, like, the plot sort of stayed the same, but, like, for as much as people love second male leads, for as much as we want them to be the male lead, we don't.
No.
You really don't. They're not male leads. They're just, you just like them more because they're not assholes.
It was really, really something. It was a weird experience watching that show.
Huh. Yeah, it seems like a show that might be interesting, but the problems you have with it are the production side of things, less on the
But the production
actual...
side affects like the actual storytelling of the show.
Right.
Is the problem.
See, if I didn't know that, it might have been interesting to. Well, now going in,
No, because it's one of those things where it's like it was, from what I've heard of that show, it is very obvious that something, because it's not like shows don't switch their male leads.
No, that doesn't
randomly.
seem normal.
Like, that's not something that happens, especially in, because Cheese in the Trap is only 16 episodes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have that much time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And this is before, I think Cheese in the Trap doesn't even have like hour and a half long episodes.
They're closer to an hour, yeah.
They're like so you only have 16 hours, and like you can't be switching male leads every like from here to there.
Mm-hmm. The other thing with it is, so I find it very boring as well. I find just the entire premise of the show incredibly boring, and so that leads me to believe that Dan might like it, because Dan seems to like all the shows that I find boring. So
yeah, I don't know. I like the slow pacing, but the thing is, I like the slow pacing because they build up characters. But what you're telling me is they just don't build up the characters.
The character growth doesn't happen. Yeah.
So maybe it's for not.
Mm-hmm.
But if anybody does want to watch Cheese in the Trap, I think it's on Netflix, right?
I think so. Last time I checked, it was on Netflix. It could have gotten taken off Netflix by now, but I don't know.
It's a K-drama. It's probably still on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Slowly, Netflix is becoming more K-drama.
Yep, it is on Netflix. So you can check it out there if you decide you want to watch it, or skim through it to see how much of a disaster the plot turns at the end.
I'm curious. There's like 2 of Kayla's shows that I actually want to watch.
Well, Cheese in the Trap is the least bad, so...
Least bad.
So my least bad is still not good.
Yeah.
Least bad still does not mean good.
Alright. If you want to go into your
Sammi.
first one.
My show now?
Yeah.
So my least bad show is another Netflix show. It's Love Alarm. So, Love Alarm is what happens when you live in a world where a cell phone app will give you an alert when you're around someone that loves you, or someone that has which is interesting because it's specifically only romantic love, which I found really funny because it doesn't go off when you're like around like friends or family. It's specifically romantic love, which is whatever. Problem 1 I have with this show. Well, this show essentially takes that premise, which is very fun and interesting, and turns it into the most basic love triangle imaginable.
Oh no.
You can tell I'm not salty about wasting a premise.
My phone. My phone is telling me to love two people. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Oh no.
It's really bad.
Is it all meta just
So-
to say that you shouldn't let phones like dictate your lives? Is that what the end?
No, no.
We don't even get a
Take
real
anything
life lesson.
Anything interesting with that premise is thrown out the window. There is nothing interesting done with the premise of having an app that will tell you when you're around someone that loves you. And, like, the thing is, like, a lot of times, like, in high school, like, they're trying to, like, get, like, people that like each other will get in range and see if both the phones go off, and it's super fun and exciting, and I'm like, this is boring, and I hate it.
Oh, it sounds like the
But
worst.
also, this is the only love triangle I've ever watched where I hate all three of them.
Oh, snap.
All three of them are bad, or, like, not fun characters. First main girl is sort of this very Cinderella story. She's, like, works at a convenience store. She's slightly poorer. She's, like, whatever. Her aunt hates her. It's very Cinderella. And also, weird subplot with, like, her parents dying and her aunt blames her. Weird subplot that goes nowhere. But because of that, she always looks so fucking miserable. She just looks, like, she says she's fine, but she just looks miserable. And they go nowhere with that. Then, male lead is a chaebol, because of course he is. It's a K-drama. And so, second male lead is his best friend. Second male lead has had a crush on the No. Second male lead has had a crush on the female lead. Never spoken to her, never told her. So, male lead gets back to Korea. One of the first thing he does is he sees this male lead who his friend, close enough to be his brother, has a crush on and decides to pursue her. Barely knows this girl. Never spoken to this girl. Immediately confesses that he wants to be in a relationship with her. Am I supposed to like him? I don't know.
How is that, like, a logical decision for, like, anybody?
Like, this is not a logical decision that's happening. And then also, second male lead, who I'm supposed to maybe like, because he's the one that's getting screwed over, has no backbone. And, like, continues to be friends with the male lead, and I'm like, why? Why should I care about any of you? And then there's a bunch of things with the love alarm, all the misunderstandings. Some people will sometimes have it downloaded, then they like delete it from their phones, but no one has any ability to communicate with each other and actually talk about their feelings because, you know, logic has gone out the window. And, like, I just think it's such a good premise that's just destroyed. Because they use it to just tell a story that could be told without needing it.
I feel like it's hard to like a drama when you hate the main characters. Like,
I hate everybody.
You can't
Everyone
watch a
sucks, and
show
I
where
hate
you
them.
hate all of the characters.
All three of them.
Mhm.
It's the rare show where all three of them are bad. Also, the ending isn't even really an ending because all it is set up for season 2 because there is a Love Alarm 2 coming out. So the ending of this show is a
so
time
it's not
jump.
an ending.
It's not an ending. It's just a time jump that will apparently be continued in season 2. So I'm like, what did I spend my life watching this for?
Now you have to watch
What
season
is
2.
this?
Congrats.
No, I don't. My time is too valuable for this. No. I have too many other shows that I would actually like to watch. Again, overall, is it the worst thing I've ever seen? No. Honestly, this might not even make my bottom 5, but a lot of my bottom 5 are bad comedies that are like maybe 3 or 4 episodes long. And I really mostly don't like comedies.
Yeah.
Is what I've realized, and that's probably why
You have
I
to
didn't
pick,
like
like, the
them.
most representative bottom 5.
This is representative
Yeah.
bottom 5. These are not actually my bottom 5.
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, this is just, overall, I just found it to be something that could have been used interestingly, but was not.
Sad.
And I think disappointment is probably the worst.
Yeah, that sucks. When you're disappointment in the drama is big factor on my least favorite drama.
Mhm.
So
Disappointed to see
Yeah.
where it goes versus it actually just being bad. I feel like, yeah. Because I've watched...
And like every once in a while, they would put in little bits of how a society that now essentially has an ability to basically figure out soulmates. Because, like, if you
That's
both
what you have
like
a
it,
problem
like,
with?
there's no...
It's the
No,
logic
I'm
behind
saying-
a phone app.
Not the logic behind the phone app, but just, like, they, every once in a while, have little hints of, like, how society is reacting, and, like, the interest... I hear the news stories about, oh, people that never had their... There's a weird little subplot that, like, people that didn't have their love alarm go off ever and had it for a very long time, they committed suicide because they just felt unloved. That is far more interesting.
That's such a more interesting
that plot
line.
is so much more interesting to me.
That's such a
And it
more
was like a mass
that's such an
suicide of
interesting
people that
plot
just never
line.
had their
Yeah.
love alarm go off. And I'm sitting here watching about a love triangle. I'm sitting here watching this love triangle. That's essentially, the love triangle is probably very similar to the Cheese in the Trap love triangle. I've never seen Cheese in the Trap, but it's such a stereotypical love triangle that I'm assuming it's very similar.
Oh, they're
to Cheese in the Trap.
incredibly unlikable. The Cheese in the Trap love triangle. Like,
Exactly.
none of them are good people.
So, like, in general, I prefer... I would just seeing parts of this world where I thought were more interesting every once in a while. And being like, oh, why can't I watch that show?
Mhm.
Why am I watching this show? And just hoping that seeing those glimpses made me want to see if maybe the show would go that direction. And it didn't.
Sad.
It never did.
That's sad.
And you completed this drama?
Yeah. I only picked shows that I completed.
Okay.
If I have a full top 5 of shows I didn't complete,
It'd be different.
but I've seen enough shows where I think I could do a worst of shows I did finish.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Okay.
So Kayla, what is slightly worse
Slightly
than
worse
Cheese in the
than
Trap?
Cheese in the Trap is The Producers. And so this is the show of my list that I think Dan would love. I think Dan would
I
absolutely
think
love
this
show.
is right up my... This is actually on my list.
This is a show
because
that Dan
number
would
one, it has
absolutely love.
one of the female leads is IU, so number one, there's a selling point. Number two, it has the main lead who's also in It's Okay to Not Be Okay, who Dan also loves.
I liked him.
Third of all, this
and
is
if
the
he's
most...
the same character, then I'm already
He
sold.
plays one character. He can only play one
Great.
character.
That's what I assumed anyway.
A lot of K-drama actors
Yeah.
only play one character, period.
Especially idol actors, because why cast them for anything else? They're already too busy to experiment.
Third, this is the most boring show I've ever watched in my life.
Then it's the most entertaining show of my life. All right, go on.
So what the whole show is about, it's really, really meta, and that's also a thing that I dislike about it, because it's about the KBS, like, variety show producing department, essentially, and then the producing directors
Made by KBS.
Yeah, it's made by KBS, and it's like an office style show.
Oh
about
my gosh,
their
go
variety
on.
department and the new people who
Dan
are
is
working there.
finding his favorite show.
You keep telling me more.
I hate the show because I also hate The Office. Big surprise. So that's not a drawing for me.
Oh, I do
Well,
too.
The Office
I
is
can't
different,
stand
though.
The
Office is dry humor, though. That's the only reason I don't like it. It's not the actual Office stuff.
It's shot in the style of The Office, though, is the thing. It's
Oh my
mockumentary
gosh,
style.
that's exactly what Incomplete Life was as well. So
Yeah.
I'm already I'm gonna add this to my list right after.
So the thing is, it's literally so boring. I cannot invest myself into a single one of these main characters because they're so boring, and I cannot convince myself to care about their problems at all. And I find them so unlikable. Is my big thing. There is absolutely
You'll find
no
the running
reason.
theme of all of our shows is unlikable people.
There's no reason at all you should like IU's character. She's a horrible person. The freaking main male lead, Kim Soo-hyun, so boring. He is, like, so boring. And the thing that is also...
Why is IU unlikable?
She's just,
What
like,
does she
she's just
play?
really bitchy. It's like, she's a, she plays an idol, like an idol in a K-pop group, and she is, like, her character is just the bitchy idol who, like, doesn't give a shit about anyone and is just, like, an asshole to everyone. And it's, like...
Got it.
And I
right.
didn't finish this show, and so I don't know if she has
You didn't
any
finish
actual
it?
character
Oh
development.
snap! How many episodes did you get into it?
I got like 8 episodes in, 8 or 9.
And it's how
and I
many?
was
How
like,
long is it?
Which is the majority
because
Yeah,
it's only
of the show.
12 episodes, so that is a majority
Okay.
of it. And I was like,
Oh,
I
it's a
can't.
shorter
Like, it was
one.
so
Okay.
boring.
I'm excited.
Kayla reaches a breaking point and then can't finish a show.
Yeah. It had
I
been at the time where
unfortunately power through.
I spent maybe, I think, 2 years trying to finish that show, and then I was like, we're just not going to do this anymore.
Oh, snap. Okay.
I mean, that's what I
It's
tried
bad.
to do with Suits, and I couldn't do it.
So the other thing that's weird for me about the show is, the show, like, one of the main plot points centers around the show 2 Days, One Night, which is very funny, because Cha Tae-hyun plays the producing director for 2 Days, One Nights in the show, and he is a cast member on that show, like, actually, or he was at the time. IRL. And it's just weird trying to follow this plot line of them making up that 2 Days, One Night is a failing variety show when it's one of Korea's most popular shows.
Wait, what?
That's it.
They didn't make a fake variety. They made 2 Days, One Night.
They
fail?
made it a failing show, and so
In
they've recast this show I think 3 times or something in the drama with different people trying to save it from dying, and it's just weird.
That just make up
It's
a
so
fake
weird.
show, yes.
So weird.
They gotta pitch their own show within
Because
their
I'm
own
sitting there, like,
show.
I watched a lot of 2 Days, One Night, and I'm sitting there watching them try to film a fake episode of 2 Days, One Night where they're purposely trying to make it bad and awful, and I'm just like, what's going on right now? It's so weird.
That sounds bad.
What I will say is that, so the main creator of this show is a past producing director for 2 Days, One Night. And he called this a variety drama because it was like, it's shot in like this office style and it deals with KBS's like actual department and everything like that. He has another show called The Best Hit, which is very similar to this. It's not shot mockumentary office style, but it deals, instead of with the variety drama department, it deals more with the K-pop side of things. That show's infinitely better. I enjoyed that show so much more. I think it's funnier, it's more interesting, the characters are better, everything about it is better. So if you want a show that's also similar in this style, where it's kind of meta, dealing with like the industry of like entertainment industry, I recommend that one more because it's a better show.
Sounds great. It's been on my list for a bit now, but I'm kind of, me watching dramas. I watch maybe 1 or 2 a month. 1 usually, if I'm lucky. That sounds good.
You don't want to know how much.
I think you would like this show. This is a Dan show. Like everything about this is a Dan
yeah,
show.
I think
Very
so.
much
The
like this
the
show.
filming style, I enjoy that style a lot. It really is immersive for me. Or I think I can just get into the characters that way, even if they are wooden, because I love wooden actors. So, all right, Sammy, lay it on us. What you got?
So my next show is actually a show I watched very recently and was just, I think, hate watching it halfway
You were
through.
definitely hate watching it. You were not having a
I
good
was
time.
not happy. No, and it's another Netflix show, and it's The King, Eternal Monarch. A show from this year.
Most
stars,
recent show
like-
on this list.
Most recent show on this list by far, and also stars massively popular actor Lee Min-ho in one of his worst roles of his career. It's terrible. So essentially, this is about 2 parallel worlds: the Kingdom of Korea with a C, which has a monarch played by Lee Min-ho, and the Republic of Korea, which is regular modern day Korea. And it's about a love story between the king and a regular cop, and also the random plots that happen when you have a portal that opens between 2 parallel universes. And also, I can't tell you what the plot of this is because it doesn't make any sense, and I hated it. Like, the entire, like, the show, anything that the show introduces, it both explains and then also contradicts. For example, everyone has a doppelganger. And, like, your doppelganger will live in different circumstances, except when they don't, they actually have the same job as they do in the other world. They'll be the same age, except for one character, for example, in Korea Kingdom, his parents have divorced, but in regular Korea, they have 2 more children, so where are their doppelgangers? Don't know. You've opened that plot hole, and I don't know how to fill it. I don't know what that means. Like, the entirety of the rules are unclear. Like, And the other problem with this show is that no one's motivations are clear at any point. Like, you have the very basic motivation of some people want power, but the reasons that they're doing any of what they're doing don't make sense and are not explained. Like, the Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Korea wants to get with the prince. Okay. But she is basically a backstabbing bitch to his face. So that's not gonna work. The uncle of the king went to the Republic of Korea after he killed his father, but also has apparently waited 20 years to go back, even though he could have gone back at any point. Doesn't make any sense to me. None of the character motivations make sense. But the thing with the show is, I think the point of it was to be big and flashy and this epic show like we've had over the past couple of years. Because what it looks like and what it reminds me of is a show like Goblin, a show like Descendants of the Sun, and a show like Crash Landing on You, which are like the big, massive shows with like massive budgets, production, sets, and money. The problem is, it's also the story. The thing with all of those shows I mentioned, they have simple stories. The stories have multiple parts and multiple people, and you kind of get like a lot of plot threads, but at its core, the story is simple. This show thought about its production and did not think about its story, because it doesn't make sense, and I was trying to understand it. And don't get me started on when they bring in time travel.
No, you ruined it. I was sold for so long, and then you said the
time
cursed
travels.
words. I hate time travel.
I'm sorry, and I
it's just
bet, and Kayla was there when I said it. I'm like, how much you want to bet there's time travel in this show?
And I was like,
cheap storytelling.
This is just like a show that is just prime example of like time travel is going to be here. Like, that's just the kind of show it is.
Because look,
we already got parallel
universes.
We might as well just also have time travel.
The other thing with the parallel universes is because both of them take place in modern day Korea, and essentially like the world has changed, but in general it's essentially modern day Seoul in both places. You don't know where you are. It'll jump back and forth, and you have no idea where I am. I don't know where. There's nothing that distinguishes it. Because, like, little things will be dropped. Like, oh, there was no Korean War. So there's no such thing as North Korea in that other world. Trump is not... Somehow they also mentioned that Trump is not president of America. Which, again, okay, cool. Don't know why that needed to be there, but okay. I'd prefer to live in that world, too.
There's when you introduce time travel like that into a really confusing plot, it's just because they can't make it's cheap storytelling. That's the whole point. They're just like, okay, we can't make a good plot to make sense, so we're just gonna introduce time travel to fix anything that
work.
All plot holes can be fixed that way.
I think the root problem with that show is that the story they want to tell, they cannot tell in a way that makes sense with the way that their world is set up. Because there are just so many problems that just at the base level do not make sense how that world exists this way. And it's just, it doesn't work.
The thing with it is, either have less logic or more logic.
Yeah.
If you just explained nothing to me, that's fine. When you started explaining the doppelganger concept, that's when I got confused.
Yeah.
Like, stop explaining.
I think they really needed...
opened your own plot
There's
holes.
no way they can explain it in a way that makes sense, so I think they really just have to, like, we're just not gonna explain any of it. Like, this is just how it is, and, like, we gotta roll with it.
Yeah, the other thing was that, like, once they tried, they explained it up, like, halfway explain everything.
Yeah.
Which is the most annoying way to do it. Either explain nothing and have me come up with all of it, where in my brain, at least, it makes sense, or explain it in a way that actually makes sense. Explaining it about halfway is this thing where, like, you're giving me, like, a little bit of the information, but not putting it together at all. And I think the thing is, I think they got to a point where they realized that the logic didn't work, and they were just going to be like, you know what, it won't work ever.
They won't care.
Like,
let's just continue anyway.
Yeah.
Alright.
The other thing is, I also feel like this show, and just the plot that it was trying to tell, would have been better like 4 years ago. I feel like we've evolved, at least in K-dramas, past this plot line of like girl fault. Like a lot of it just feels, it feels just, yeah, it feels very like 2015.
I mean, it even has
But
the
it would
same
never
girl
be-
from Goblin, right?
It has the same girl
And
from
it
Goblin,
sounds like
and
the
it
exact
has
same story from Goblin.
Lee Min Ho, who was in like a lot
The
of
Legend of the Blue
these type of
Sea
shows.
one.
Legend of the Blue Sea, Heirs, Boys Over Flowers. He's a like there's a lot of shows that there's these kind of shows, man. I feel like they were just it's we've gone past this. I feel like we needed more because the actual relationship is kind of boring. Like they don't, it's not a love triangle, which I preferred because dear God, if they would have introduced a love triangle into this. Oh boy.
So,
He was
question
falling in
that
love
I
with the
have
doppelganger. Oh,
question that I
my
have
gosh.
is the romance the main plot point of this show?
Yes and no. Yes for about half of it, then it becomes like plot C, then yes at the end.
Interesting.
It goes from like A plot to C plot, then back to A plot. Cause the relationship, like, it progresses, they get together, then other things start to happen. Apparently they don't care about this relationship anymore, and then at the end it becomes like the driving force again.
Yes. Sure.
That's also part of the reason I was confused.
Because the whole like surrounding plot of it seems like this is not how you want to tell like a romance, because it's just there's too many other things
But
going
is
on.
it K-drama without romance these days? You have to throw in a romantic subplot, even if it isn't the main
But that's
point.
the thing. Like, even if it like this either needed to be the subplot where it's like
Yeah.
they get together at the end.
Like
and
it should, that
it's sorta,
shouldn't be
going
the like
along.
that seems like it shouldn't be the driving force of the show.
Or if it is the driving force, make it a driving force and actually make me care about this relationship, because honestly I didn't. It was a little cringy as well. Like, the entire dynamic was cringy, and also like he was way too clingy way too early, and like I was just like, why are you interacting with each other? Like, there was no reason for them. Like, much like in a lot of K-dramas, like there's a reason where the two leads have to interact. Like, there's a reason for it. There was no point. And then they just sort of fell in love, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening. Why are you in love?
Alright.
When did this happen?
Fascinating. I don't know. That was also on my list of interesting ones. I don't really have a take either way, but...
Did the T word turn you off?
The T word, what?
Time
Time
travel.
travel. Yeah,
Time
for sure.
travel.
Yeah, no, I've already lost that. I mean, I am the
I
resident space sim, and that is the only thing that will
Space
turn me off anything more is anything to do with time travel. Because it instantly is like, oh, cool. Sci-fi is cool because you build a theme. You build the idea of, oh, a modern-day Korea where it's still a kingdom. And then you're just like, but wait, we'll just time travel to make it make more sense if there's anything we missed. And I'm like, why? You had a cool thing. Stick to it. Stick to your guns.
Time travel was foreshadowed from the beginning because, like, I think I told Kayla, were you here when I said this? Because I think I was watching this with someone here. And I said, this is probably going to end up being time travel because he's going to go back and save his own
Yes, you did
childhood
say
self.
that.
And it's not a surprise time travel. Like,
Yeah, that's the same. That's the only way it's
get
good
it.
if it's a surprise when you're just like, oh,
No.
snap. That's okay. Because then it's just like, that was the core theme
I
all
called
along
it out
anyway.
from, like, episode 1.
But if it's like an afterthought, then it's stupid. But if it's like the entire movie was based on the idea of you were actually in the past the whole time, that's a fine subplot as well.
It's not that interesting.
All right.
It's not that interesting of time travel.
That's interesting.
Kayla, can we move on?
Yes.
'Cause
Yeah.
I can't. I'm already getting angry, and we haven't even gotten
I
to the
know,
shows
we're
that
not
should
even
make
on the
me
really
angry
angry
yet.
ones yet.
Oh, no. You're still trying to sell me, is what you're trying to do.
No, don't watch it.
Oh, none of my shows you should watch.
Okay,
then.
thank you.
None of the shows that I have left you should watch as well.
Okay,
So my
good
next
to know.
drama, I actually watched the whole thing, and it is Moram School. And
I've also seen this show.
in a way, I like this one the most out of all of the dramas here. But after, like, thinking
Sure.
about it a lot, I'm just like, this is maybe the most confusing show ever. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all. Like,
This is
everything
Kayla's
about
the King
it
Eternal Monarch.
is so confusing. I'm also just gonna straight up read the description of the drama that's on Wikipedia because it tells you nothing about the show at all. It says, the drama is centered on the mysterious Morum Institute, which teaches its students virtues including honesty, faith, sacrifice, and communication. The teachers and students at the school come from countries and each have their own stories. And that's all you got for that show. And it's...
That's not the plot of that show at all.
This show has absolutely no idea what it wants to be is the problem. Is it?
Not at all.
Zero idea what it wants to be at any point in the drama. So... there's two main like male leads, I guess, and then there's two main female leads, and so there isn't at really any point like a love triangle square thing happening because they each end up with one of them, which is fine. Because
but I do think
the romance isn't
like
the center here. There's a weird
like
square,
everyone gets a little confused in the middle.
But it's like because of the way it works out, like there's like everyone ends up at the end together because the romance isn't really the driving force of the show. I don't think, although it might be, I guess, if you think about it. But the show is so weird and confusing and just like doesn't know what it's doing the whole time that I couldn't tell you. So one of the main male leads is an idol. He's like an idol singer, but apparently he was an orphan and has like zero recollection of his past, and so I don't know how he ended up an idol singer because they don't really ever explain that well. The other one is the son of like, he's like a chaebol except he's from China, although he's not really Chinese because he's played by Hong Bin of VIX. And so he has a whole bunch of...
that famous Chinese idol,
Hong Bin of VIX. Yep.
He didn't play the idol character, which is, I think,
it's
funny.
weird, yeah, and he's just like an asshole. Both of them are assholes, really. Neither of them are that likable people. And I think where this show is just completely confused is with the school itself. Because... They study, they somehow, I don't even, like, it makes no sense how they both end up there anyway. It's like they get recommended by a random person they encounter one day and all of a sudden they're allowed to go to this school, which is like hidden in the forest somewhere that only the people who are allowed to go there can even see. And it's like, it's not really a magic school, but it is kind of a magic school. And... because there are obviously, like, weird magic elements in play that keeps the school hidden from everyone else. But it's like, the people attending the school are just very normal people. And they teach relatively normal things at the school. Like, they teach, like, weirdly, they teach a lot of combat at it and, like, fighting. And it's just, like, the school is so confusing because I don't know what the purpose of it is or what they're trying to do with it. And I feel like this would have been a much better drama if you had gone all in with, this is a magic school, we're gonna teach magic, like this is just Harry Potter, like magic, this is a magic school. Or they just needed to go in with, like, this is some really prestigious private school with all of these rich kids from around the country, because they do...
My thing was always, I thought this was going to be a magic school.
It is, but it isn't. It's, like, weird.
What?
But it isn't.
It isn't. It's set up to be, like, a magic school, but it's not. It's, like, really weird.
Yeah, there's just no magic. I just think they didn't have a budget for magic.
And then there's, like, weird, like, semi-magic plot elements towards the end, too, where they're, like, is some type of, like, magic stone or something that the rich guy's father is trying to get because it apparently is going to grant him, like, power. And I'm like, oh, so now we have actual magic? But then at the end, it's actually revealed that it's not. It's
no
nothing.
magic.
That it's just actually an empty box, and there's nothing there. And it's like,
yeah,
it's so confusing. I was thinking, because this was one of the first K-dramas I watched too, and I was like, okay, this was fine. And then the more that I sat on it and think about it, I'm like, what was going on this entire show?
The more you were very like, I'm confused.
I'm
and
so
I don't like
confusing. Like, everything about it is just like, I don't know what is happening the entire time. Also, another thing that is not a good sign for the drama is it got cut short by 4 episodes while it was filming because it had such low ratings. So, if that tells
and
me
you
that
knew
it's
this
not a
before
good
you
show.
started?
Yeah.
No.
It was a 20
Was
episode...
you watching this live or no?
I was watching it semi-live, actually.
Okay.
Oh, I was not. I watched it after, and I did not know it got cut short, and I was just like, this is not good.
Yeah. And you can tell because the last 2 episodes is them trying to figure out a story in 4 episodes shorter than what they were expecting. And I actually think they do a pretty decent job given they were not given a big warning. I was like, well, we're cutting you short 4 episodes, but it's so confusing. And the thing is that annoys me about it is like I can easily see how it's better if they had just went full in on this is a magic school, and then it's just so confusing because
Had no budget.
there's no budget.
I
And
heard
then
they introduced magic in the last 4 episodes that got cut.
they could have done a lot of good character development too with the other characters and then just like who were at the school, but none of them get any development, so you just have like
Nope.
absolutely nothing going on with that. It's very confusing.
I just think that this is a show that had a lot of ideas, but no budget or ability to do
There were
them.
so many ideas. There were like 20 things going on at once, but like no one was able to like dial that back and like put it into something that was cohesive at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably avoid this one.
Yeah, it's
Doesn't
weird.
sound like me.
It's very weird.
It is weird. I did not enjoy it. It was also one of the first K-dramas that I watched, and I was just like watching it very confused.
Yeah, it's
Just
so
like-
it's just so very
I
it's
didn't
so
understand
confusing.
what was happening.
Yeah.
But I thought maybe it was just I don't understand K-dramas. No, it's just because it was a
It
bad
was just a
K-drama.
bad K-drama. It's very weird.
Sammy, what do you got to bring?
So I'm going to be talking about the K-drama You're Beautiful, which is essentially about an idol band called Angel, spelled A.N.J.E.L.L.
Hate that. Oh my
Angel.
god, that's disgusting.
But pretty typical for today's days.
This was made like 6 years. This
I
was
know,
made
which
at
is
least
why
5
it's
or 6
sad
years
that
ago.
this is the state of K-pop.
Mm-hmm.
Carry on.
So essentially, that band gets a new singer. However, that new member had to go to the U.S. to repair a botched eye job.
Wait,
We
what?
never see him,
Wait,
by the way.
hang on. You gotta explain this a
He had
little
eye
bit.
surgery.
He had eye
He had eye
surgery.
surgery.
It messed
It was a
up.
botched eye surgery.
So he has to go to the
US to
U.S.
fix it.
So they have to replace him with main lead, I'm assuming.
Just before he can sign the contract. So his agent recruits his twin sister to stand in for him and pretend that she is her brother.
Oh my gosh, this drama sucks. I hate this. Next.
Mhm.
Talk about the next one. I already hate it. There's no point this could ever
No
be saved.
point.
Alright.
It's so bad.
How can
So,
it possibly
they-
get worse with a plot
So,
like that?
Well, here's the thing. This is essentially just the plot of She's the Man, but instead of soccer, it's a band. But it's also worse than She's the Man because there's a lot of shows that have the girl pretends to be boy trope. And this is the worst example of it.
Oh no.
because
That's already I hate
one-
that trope.
I hate the trope so much, but like there are certain shows that did it. Like I didn't hate a show like Coffee Prince. Cuz Coffee Prince I thought that she had more of a reason to fake being a boy. Like there needs to be a reason. This is a stupid reason. And also Park Shin-hye makes a terrible boy. She's not.
I can
It doesn't
imagine.
work. I hate Park Shin-hye doesn't work in this. One, also the male lead is an asshole. To the point where I don't even think he's a likable asshole. He's just an asshole. And then just a genuinely unpleasant person to be around. Like, he just seems like someone I don't want to meet or see or talk to in any capacity. Also, a lot of the comedy, and this is my biggest problem with some of these shows, is that when the leads start to get feelings for the girl pretending to be boy, there's 2 ways you can go with this. This show decided that all of the comedy in the show was going to be weird gay jokes that all of the guys think that they are gay now. That is
Oh,
not
boy.
how you do that, because that is not funny. That's not funny. So,
This
I
is
think
not a
Coffee
good-
Prince did it
not a
well,
good
where
look.
it's like Coffee Prince did it where that's not the joke. The joke is not, hey, you're gay. They take that in the plot direction, which is why I don't hate it. still bad because it's still this stupid trope that I hate. But the fact that they essentially turned all of the development of like, hey, maybe I like this person to, holy shit, I'm gay, gay panic, gay panic, gay panic.
Also, I want to
It's
just
not funny.
mention fast, you said this was 5 to 6 years ago. The show was 11 years ago.
Look, I don't know how time
So
works
much
anymore.
Because I went to look it up and I was like, I feel like it has to be like old.
It's 11 years ago.
I was
It's
gonna
11
say,
oh, no,
I was
there's-
gonna say this
there's shows
sounds
made
like
this
it's
year that have that
a
trope.
early like tens trope.
It's 11 years ago, guys. I don't know how time works. I've probably watched it maybe 7 years ago at this point, if it's 11 years old. Like, it's not good. I watched it because
It's a honky, isn't it?
Hongi's in it, so
And
that's why I watched
Jung
it.
Young Hwa, CN Blue is also in it.
Yeah, because it's an actual band.
Yeah. So they put actual band people
So-
in it.
Band members in it. And honestly, it's just... The trope needs to die, and I hate it. But even around that, the show itself just has a very unpleasant male lead, mixed with the worst example of that trope imaginable.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, you're not convinced to watch.
No,
this
I
one.
was.
You heard
You
the
basically
cross-dressing.
not
was
even
like, no.
even before that, the whole cross-dressing
way,
thing. The eye surgery was
weird
what
thing-
got me to like. I don't care anymore. With a
Weird other thing. The girl essentially was in training to become a nun.
oh, so this is
before her
oh
brother
my
went
got
to
a
god.
go
nun
get her.
side.
How are you making it worse? Oh my
Like
god.
they were two orphan twins.
Oh
No,
my god.
Who were like put in, I think, a church orphanage. So the girl stayed to become a nun, and the boy left to become a rock star. And I'm
Dang.
like,
No. Oh my.
I made it
and she's
worse.
like, great. Now I have to
Oh
be a
my
rock
God.
star instead of pursuing the
a
nunnery.
nun.
Ah, my next drama. I'm done. Kayla.
Yes. So, next drama for me is High School Love On. This is the show I have watched the least of all of these dramas because I've only seen 3 episodes because the casting of this show makes it impossible for me to watch any more than that because I am so greatly uncomfortable by the casting of this drama that I cannot watch it. It is like really uncomfortable, like how this is cast. So, High School Love On. Put this into perspective. Woohyun and Sungyeol of Infinite, both in this drama. They are the two main male leads in this drama. During the time of filming, both of them are 23 years old. The female lead of this show is 14 years old.
No.
No, I absolutely cannot watch this show because that is just no. Like I can't.
Here's the
Everything
thing.
about
Is
this
show a
decision was,
romance?
it is a romance. This is a romance show. Like
Do they play younger
this.
people? Is that or
they do.
play?
They all
just
they
play
all play
high
high
school.
schoolers. And so the thing that's really stupid here is so Kim Se-ron, 14 years old, child actress at this point. Like she's in like 14, you're in high school. So she's high school age at the time of filming this. But no K-dramas cast actual high schoolers and high school aged kids in high school dramas. You cast people in your like late teens to early 20s because that's how actors are for high school dramas. Is that's how old they are. Mm-hmm. The rest of the cast is that age. The entire cast is in their early 20s.
Actual high schoolers play high schoolers.
No.
It's uncomfortable to see 14 to 18-year-olds play 14 to 18-year-olds because they look like babies.
Yeah. The entire cast, besides the main female lead, all in their early 20s. They're all regular aged. I do not know what compelled them to cast a 14-year-old as the main female lead of this show. I don't understand it.
I was gonna say, what point of popularity was Infinite when this came out?
This was probably peak Infinite popularity, to be honest.
This seems like it would be peak.
Yeah,
Infinite.
I think it was like 2013, 2014. Oh, so it's a little bit after peak Infinite, but like we're still like pretty high in like Infinite.
We're still
era.
in like high Infinite.
Yeah.
Is it a creepy way of like making like the whole like you could be with your idols? Is that what that is?
I don't
But
think
why
so.
would that be any different than having a 20-year-old actress?
Why? I don't understand
Because
why we cast a 14-year-old.
high
the
schoolers
lead.
are. I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of
You're
something
trying to make this okay when
illogical.
it's not.
So
But it doesn't. It's not logical
work.
at all.
I don't get it. This sounds awful.
Kayla, what is the plot of this show?
Oh,
What
I
is the
hate
plot?
I
Is there a
also
plot?
hate the plot of this show. So, High School Love on
That's why I asked that
teen
question.
fantasy romance series about an angel who has no choice to become a human after unintentionally saving a male student in danger.
No.
The now mortal angel then interacts with teenage high school students to learn about love, friendship, and what it means to be
No.
human.
No.
No.
Boring.
No,
Bad. I
it's-
hate
I
that.
think it's the so of the 4 episodes of this, 3 or 4 episodes of the show that I have seen, it's like the most cliche high school drama is like you can get. Like you can't get more cliche high school drama than this show. Like it's just badly executed. Everything about it is very cringy. It's not good. Also, didn't actually get to this point in the drama, but I was reading episode descriptions. So Woohyun is more of the actual main lead of the show rather than Sungil is. He lives with his grandmother, because I think that's his only family. I think like 6, and then when the girl is the angel. So once she is turned human, she goes to live with Woohyun and the grandmother. And then like
Why?
6 episodes in, they kill the grandmother. And grandmother's dead.
So they live
and
on
the
their
two
own.
of them live together on their own. And I'm just like,
Okay.
nope, I don't like this. I hate everything about this. I don't like it. It's just, it's not a well executed show to begin with, because it's very just teen romance garbage. And also, I cannot watch that show knowing that the main female lead is 14 and then the rest of the cast is in their early 20s. Like, it's just so weird. I hate it so much.
That's creepy.
It's so
I'm
creepy.
sorry.
And I think at the time Kim Se-ron is I think pretty like popular, like child
But she's
actress.
also a
But
child.
she's a child actress.
Give her a child
She's
actor.
she's in the state, like she's still the age range of being a child actress. So I don't know why all of a sudden at 14 years old is one was like, we're gonna throw her as the main female lead of a romance drama now, and we're gonna cast all 20-year-olds in it. And I'm
Members
like,
of
yeah, that
Infinite.
makes a lot of sense. Like, no, like I hate it so much. I'm just incredibly uncomfortable by everything about it that I cannot watch that show. I hate it so much. No, it's bad. The thing that I don't understand is that I know, I see in the Infinite fandom, a lot of people genuinely like that show, and I'm like, I don't understand.
I mean, I'm curious to watch it just because I want to see the train wreck that it is, and also I want to see how they get around everything that could go wrong.
I don't think they actually ever kiss in the show, which is the
would
least
hope
the least
not.
they can do with having that age gap of the leads. But
I
like,
barely wanted them to hug.
I don't. It's so creepy. I hate everything about it.
I want,
I
like,
don't like it.
Again, I want them to social distance 6 feet.
I don't like it, and I don't like that Woohyun and Sungil are forever associated with this
Their
show.
love alarm does not go off.
No. I also hate that this is just a thing that Woohyun and Sungil are now forever associated with, is this train wreck of a garbage show, and I hate it.
Yeah. Again, I've seen Sungil's 100 and something episode
Yeah.
drama. I think I can sit through high school love
Love on just for
I
curiosity's
almost called
sake.
it high school love alarm.
High
school
love alarm.
Nice. Alright. Okay. That sounds creepy and not
No,
at
it's
all
not good. Nothing about it is
entertaining.
good.
It sounds not good.
This is a no-no, and this is a fine one to put a no on.
Absolutely not. Like, do not watch that.
Don't endorse this kind of behavior.
I might.
Sammy
Alright.
will
I've
watch
not
it
been
out of
deterred.
curiosity alone.
Yeah,
She's curious to see the burning
I'm
house.
curious to see what happens.
Alright.
I want to see the train wreck.
Sammy, what do you have that's worse?
If you want me, like, now we get to the shows that actually make me angry. So, this is the first, where this is not a K-drama. This is a Thai drama.
Tie.
This is part
Got it.
of, yes. So it's part of, it's You Prince Handsome Cowboy. So the You Prince series with these, so in a lot of Thai shows, what they'll do is that they will have short instead of having one show with multiple couples, they will just essentially divide them into shorter shows that are like 4 to 8 episodes that focus on each individual couple. Prince had like 12 shows, each of which sort of focus on a different major. This happened to be the major of agriculture. This is rage inducing. So it's about a down-to-earth girl who dislikes narcissistic and arrogant people, who meets a bad boy, a charming cowboy from the facility of agriculture. He basically falls in love with her and tries to win her over. However, what they are not aware of is that they used to be childhood friends. I don't know how you forget your childhood friend, because neither of them had like major head trauma that made them forget, but somehow they have forgotten each other.
Okay.
Oh my god. This male lead is an asshole. He's a cheater. He's sexist. He's a man whore. He's arrogant, a control freak, manipulative, gaslights the female lead, and also almost sexually assaults her twice.
But it's okay because she likes her back at the end, right?
I mean, they end
That's
up
what they
together
try
and rage-inducing.
Oh, that makes no sense.
Like, he is violent to her. He is threatening. He is overprotective. He is essentially, I mean, I was reading through a couple of things where some people were saying he almost sexually assaults her 3 times. I only remember 2. If I'm wrong, then there's a third one that I blacked out of my memory. Mind you, this is all in an 8 episode, 45 minutes an episode, and he almost sexually assaults her twice.
Oof.
And gaslights her. He has a girlfriend. He falls in love with this. He basically starts to like date this girl, doesn't break up with his girlfriend, and then gaslights her and like, we didn't have a relationship. I always had my girlfriend. And then gets super jealous when she goes to the second male lead, and then almost sexually assaults her for the second time. Because he's like, no, he can't have you. Like, you shouldn't. He's also sexist because he's a man whore, but when she starts to hang out with the second male lead, it's like, oh no, girls, people will talk if you hang out with him. I'm like, you're an actual terrible person, and I hate you. Like, it is just so much, like, everything he does is a massive red flag in a way that is like, I hate him so much. I don't think he was supposed to be an asshole. Like, somehow this is all framed as I think what's happening is a lot of this is framed as, you know, the stereotypical character, and Kayla, you've probably encountered this more, of the bad boy, heart of gold, like gonna learn, change, and be better. That's sort of how I think it was trying to be framed. But the problem is everything he does crosses the line of like, no one should.
Does he have any sort of redemption at the end, or just what?
What do you mean by redemption?
Like, does he stop being a bad person? I mean,
she does. I don't know, because he's the character's sort of bipolar in the way that like they break up and they get back together and he becomes a better person, but then like a little bit later something will happen and he'll go back to being an asshole.
Okay.
So like at like the
writers
moment that the show ends, he's fine, but like
but you have no idea.
He'll probably slap her in the face. And
Great.
like it'll be fun. Like in a week he'll like slap her in the face and like throw her slow her in a river.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like. He's a terrible. Like every red flag that you could think of in a relationship, he does that. He doesn't outright hit her, but like there's a lot of like, this is a very abusive relationship.
Cool. This is what not to look for in a relationship. Glad we have a good example finally.
The other thing is that like the rest of the Prince series have like genuinely nice guys. Like, this is such an outlier.
Also,
like,
when you started this journey of Prince, like, did you know this existed, or you just got taken aback?
This is the first one.
Oh. Oh, and you
This is the
continued
first
to
one and
watch
the
after
longest
that?
one.
Yeah, you watched the
Because
rest
there
of them
was-
after this.
Here's the thing. This is I was like, well, are the other ones as bad? And then the next one was genuinely one of the cutest things I've ever seen.
Okay.
The next one's very sweet. The other thing is that this is also the
Interesting.
longest one.
Oof.
What
This
is the
is
law?
8 episodes.
Okay.
This is 8 episodes. All the other ones are 4.
Of how long in length? I don't know how Thai does their episode lengths. Do they do
They're
the
like
hour?
45 minutes.
Okay.
No, they're like 45 minutes. So like this is double the length of all the other ones. And I'm
Okay.
like, why did you give this double the length? So we could get
To
two
get more
sexual
time.
assaults?
Yeah, I did 2 sexual assaults in it.
It's like, did we do that already? Do we
It's
have to
not
show
even
how bad of a guy he
implied.
is? No, let's just do it again.
Legitimately, it's not even like sort of like, you know how sometimes there's that like forceful kissing that's like a little like No, he is holding her down and she is telling him to stop.
Oh, no. That's
It's
a big no.
It's, like she's crying, telling him to stop. And I'm like, what is happening? I wanted him, like, I'm just like, I never. It's like the most abusive relationship I've ever seen in a K-drama that actually ends with them being still together.
Oof.
Okay.
I've heard you
bad.
complain
That's
about the show
usually
a lot.
I've seen this story with the antagonist of the story, not the.
Not the protagonist.
Yeah.
No, the
Okay.
thing
And
with
he's
it
a
is just, like,
cowboy
it's also
the
so-
whole time.
It's such a real. Yes, what do you mean? What do you mean by cowboy the whole time? A lot of this takes place on a farm.
That's what I'm
And he
saying.
does ride horses.
It's just funny, imagining
I mean, the problem is that is also like a lot of people. This couple, this pairing of these two has actually gone on to do more shows together because they look really cute together. Like the first couple episodes where it is just your typical like douchebag guy with this girl, they actually look very sweet together. It's when he becomes this manipulative piece of shit that I lose all. That's like, no.
Okay.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Kayla, give us your.
Is it,
My worst
Finale.
drama.
give us your worst drama.
Worst drama ever. Worst drama I've ever seen. Also, one of the ones that I have finished completely is Missing 9. And everything about this drama makes me angry. It's so bad. I don't even know where to start because everything about it makes me upset. So, plot of this drama. Essentially, a bunch of celebrities are on a plane from this like one entertainment company. The plane crashes somewhere in mid-flight, and then all of them are stranded on an island. And then, essentially, it was supposed. And then after that, when they get rescued or they show up after they're stranded on the island, a bunch of them are dead. And it turns into like a murder mystery because they didn't just die of starvation, someone murdered them. So, I'm reading the Wikipedia right now. This is maybe the worst description and also most confusing description of the show I've ever read before because it's just poorly written, so I need to read it now. During a flight to China, a plane carrying 47 people crashes into an island. Only 12 make it out alive, 7 of whom are South Korea's most famous celebrities. And then it just lists all the people.
Okay.
And then it was like, this one, after 4 months, only this one girl survives. However, she discovers 6 of the other survivors survived. And I'm like, that just seems like a contradictory sentence right there.
That's a contradictory sentence that I hate.
I'm like,
Also,
okay.
nothing of what you said is 9 people.
No.
So why
No,
is it
I
missing
don't
9?
understand. It's so confusing.
None
None of
of those
those
numbers
numbers
were
are
the number
9.
9.
None of them's 9 people. I'm trying to figure, because it's been a while since I watched it, because I watched it while it aired, and so I can't even give you the 9 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Also,
7.
question.
Yeah, there's more than 9 people.
Because I know that there's a member of EXO in this
Chanyeol
show.
is in this show.
What? Yeah, my question is, for any XOLs in the audience, do they need to watch this show?
No, because Chanyeol has about maybe like 15 to 20 minutes of screen time the entire show. Because he's not a main character, and then is immediately murdered once they get to the island. So he is just
fun.
is just not there most of it because he is dead.
Okay, so Kayla. to completely ruin this show, because it's a murder mystery for some reason, I thought it was just going to be... I assumed
It's a weird...
Missing 9 was just a ripoff of Lost.
Yeah.
Turns out I'm wrong.
It's very wrong. So that was what I was expecting when I came into this drama, because I was actually incredibly excited for this drama, because it was like, oh cool, we're gonna have like a Lost like island survival type show. That's not at all what this show is. Not at all what this show is actually about.
So to make this show completely impossible for anyone to enjoy now, who did it?
So it's Taeho, who is a parent. So some of the people on the plane were in this band a while ago, but then they got disbanded because one of them had a DUI, and then I think that ruined the band. And so he was one of the band members, and now he's an actor, but this one, the one who doesn't have a DUI, became an actor and is successfully just doing acting things now.
Acting things.
But he is just generally an asshole. It's not hard to pick him out as the bad guy, because he is just evil and mean.
So it's not a surprise when it turns out it was him all along.
No, because they don't. It's not a secret to the audience. It's him. Him the entire time.
Boo.
And
Boo.
The thing that's annoying with this
show.
So
it's not really a murder mystery.
It's not a murder mystery because you are aware of who it is the entire time.
You're
and
taking away
everything
that could make the show good.
You are watching the rest of the characters figure out who the murderer is when you are fully aware of who it is.
Oh god, that's the worst thing, where you're just like, it's obvious.
You are immediately aware that he has murdered people. Because they show you
Why is he murdering people? Why?
So, I don't really remember, to be honest. It was something about how he wants to keep his clean image, and a lot of the people who were on this plane crash apparently know secrets of his, and so he wants to kill them to essentially make sure that no one is able to
He's like,
leak
well, bad
information.
situation, time to turn it in my favor.
As opposed to my bad reputation being destroyed because I'm a murderer.
And then that's what it spirals into, is that once he kills one person, then now there are witnesses to the murders, and so now he spends a lot of time killing the witnesses to the murders.
Oh my god. He's just like, alright, this could all go away if I just kill it. Oh no, I see what I've done.
Kill more people.
Now I'm a serial
everyone
killer.
needs to
now
die.
I'm a serial killer.
Now I'm kind of interested
just a
to
serial
watch
killer.
this
Let's just do
as a
it.
comedy.
And that's just, so the thing that is very confusing is this drama just hard switches genres twice in this show.
Wait, what?
So again, I would kind of be very interested in this show, and I know this is not how it goes, so I'll let you destroy my idea in a second.
Mm-hmm.
I would love if this show was just a ripoff of Lost, but you're following a guy who essentially has to hunt them all. Like, it sort of becomes a dangerous game.
I would love
where
that.
it's like, shit, they know I'm a murderer.
My God,
I must kill everyone before.
Yeah, even that plot sounds
that.
so good.
So
that plot sounds amazing.
Problem one. They are all off of the island, and we stop getting flashbacks to the island about less than halfway through the drama. Everyone's off the island.
Oh my gosh. So the whole okay, never mind. Carry on.
Everyone's off the island, and we also no longer get flashbacks, because half of that is people are off the island, but we're still getting flashbacks, and that's just all gone at like less than halfway through the drama. That plot line is gone, and so after we're off the island, we have a hard switch into a crime drama, because now we have this guy who is back in his real life, still continuing to try to murder the people who witnessed him murdering other people. So we have that for a little bit.
Wait a minute, how did people immediately not say, hey, when we were on this island, this dude just murdered a bunch of people?
I honestly don't remember. I think
how is that
I don't
not
know. I think some of them
cops?
Some of them are either unsure about it or they have, but they can't legally do anything about it. And so we spend a little bit of time with him trying to murder people, and then the last half of the show, or the last part, is essentially we've made a full switch, and now this is a legal drama. And we spend a lot of time in the courtroom just doing legal things.
Because we found out evil guy was evil, so now we must prosecute.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta have justice go all the way through.
We spend like 5 episodes of people giving testimonies about what happened,
and
then trying to prove him as a murderer. It's just a lot.
How long is this show?
It's a bad show. It's an absolutely terrible show.
Is it like a 16 episode, or is it longer?
16 episodes.
Yeah, I think it's like 16.
Oh my goodness. And the whole last half is just nothing.
Oh, it's
No.
I'm not even
It's a
at
crime
I'm not
show.
even at the worst part of this drama yet.
What?
Last worst part of this drama, the last 5 minutes, absolutely invalidate everything that happened in the entire show.
Don't say it was all a dream.
No. So what happens is, so at the end they do catch the bad guy. I think they have some dramatic car chase or something. They hunt him down, and then he cries on the ground, and he's
Right.
admitted to the murders, and boom.
He cries on the
And
ground.
it's just like he has a mental breakdown. He's crying, and it's just like,
Wait a
yeah,
minute. Wait a minute.
sure.
Wait a minute. So this this procedural crime show,
Mhm.
he didn't get caught, and it's not his trial.
It is his trial, but because
Oh, okay.
because it deals with he's a big celebrity, and he's got the CEO of his company kind of behind him, and so he has a lot of just like influence. If they're trying to like pressure the other people to not testify against him, so there's a lot of that happening.
Okay.
And so when they're having these like courtroom scenes, there's a lot of, oh, what are they gonna say in the when they give testimony, blah blah blah, whatever. I don't care. But I think they have a part where they may have like actually convicted him, but he tries to run away, and there's a car chase, and then
Oh, fun.
after the car chase, he's on the ground in the middle of the road, breaking down in tears because he's murdered people, and like now he's caught and has to go to jail.
And now
Now
he got
he's
caught.
sorry.
Yeah.
Not so much for the murder. More
No,
for the
because he
getting
got caught. So the last 5 minutes of this show is this like really bizarre sequence where all of the characters that are not dead are just on a rooftop, like painting a mural on a wall. With them is the murderer. He's just also there. And he's just there.
Oh, fun.
And they're trying to push this whole
Are they
storyline.
in character?
They are fully in character. And they're trying to push this whole forgiveness storyline. It was like, yeah, things are awkward between us, but we're trying to get over it. And I'm like, dude murdered like 5 people. This is not a thing you can just get over.
Serial killer.
Like, this is not how we end the drama.
He's a serial
Dude
He's
killer.
murdered
in jail,
5
and they're just
people.
like, ah. Oh my gosh. What an ending.
Memories.
I'm just
You remember
like,
when I
why?
killed that
I
one
don't
guy?
understand.
Yeah, John, that was funny. Don't do it
Yeah,
again.
you know how I
Yeah,
try
I
to
wouldn't do
murder
that
like
again.
all of your friends? Well, I hope we can get over that. We can still be friends now. And I'm like, what's happening?
No.
I hate this.
Now I'm very.
That's not how
This is
this
like one of
works.
those like so bad. I gotta know how this goes. Kind of a drama. I don't know. I wouldn't waste my time on it, but like
It was
that
so,
sounds
it's so bad.
Trying to explain it is
It's like I can't even explain it because it's like 3 different shows all in one.
Yeah, it does seem like. Well, I just kept saying it can't get worse, and you're just like,
Like,
but
but
wait,
wait."
there's more.
But wait,
There's
it
more.
changes to this side of the show
Yeah.
now.
And we're just like, oh, we can make this interesting if, yeah, oh, okay, whatever. All right,
Yeah.
that was missing 9. Don't watch that.
No.
It sounds like a piece of hot
I
garbage.
completely-
Unless you're into that.
I completely lost
then-
interest in it once they were all off of the island, and then I was just finishing it because I'm like, I have to know how it ends now, and then it was not worth it at all. So
Yep, forgiveness
Yeah.
makes a
Regret
way.
finish.
Even
Forgiveness,
if you
everyone.
murder everyone.
Mhm.
All right,
Even if
Sammy.
you murdered all your friends and family on a random island.
Yep.
Forgiveness.
Yeah. Well, cool. Sammy, give us
Last show.
your latest and greatest and lastest hot take, worst drama.
So I don't really watch Japanese dramas,
Oh dear.
but I've watched a few and I've liked none of them.
Okay.
This is the worst drama I've ever seen. And it is Coffee and Vanilla, which is a Japanese drama. And I watched it because I was like curious about Japanese dramas and just trying to see like if I would trying to like one, because it's just never a genre that I could get into. The thing is, it's also one of the more popular at least Japanese dramas internationally that of like last year. So I was like, oh, this is popular. Maybe I should maybe I want to try watching something popular to see if I'd like it. I hated everything about this show. The only reason I finished it was because it was short. It's actually very short. It's like 10
oh
episodes.
dang, oh dang.
That's why I finished it. If it wasn't that, I wouldn't have finished it, because honestly, so it is a love story between a naive girl who goes to Tokyo from her hometown that's in the countryside, and she goes to university. She's in her 20s. She's pretty. She's popular. I don't know how, because she's super naive and not even that pretty. And she never had a boyfriend. Then she meets this, like, 30-year-old businessman.
Oh, I already hate
who,
that.
like, they fall in love and, like, their romance. And I hate everything about this. Honestly, the romance is out of nowhere. They have, like, the thing with this show is it went to, like, there are mature scenes in, like, the most robotic way possible. So, like, they don't cut away from, like, it's like, I don't know how to describe it. There are mature scenes, but, like, it kind of looks like two robots who don't understand how human reproduction works. So they're kind of going through the motions, but there's no feeling.
Oh, boy.
It's empty. There's nothing. I'm like, nothing's happening. And it's about as graphic as your average, like, American show. It can air on television. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mm.
And, like, the female lead is unwatchable. She's got the backbone of a jellyfish. The entire show is her getting, like, hit on or grabbed by a man. Male lead comes in to save her. Then and rinse and repeat and rinse and repeat and rinse and repeat for 10 episodes.
Oh, boy.
Like, there's
nothing that happens.
There's nothing. It has romance has no development, and yet somehow they get engaged by the end. And I'm like, I can't tell if it's been a week or if it's been 8 years. Like, nothing of this, like, I don't know at what point in this relationship you are in.
It's just like a story that's forgetting the one thing that makes dramas good.
There's
is
no
the substance.
chemistry there. There's no, like, it's so nothing, but also like, the production is bad. It's also badly made. Like, the lighting's terrible. The set design is bad. And, like, there's just also, I think, no money put into the show because it looks terrible. Like, nothing about it was good. And for some reason, that made me angry.
And
like,
what is the coffee and vanilla?
Oh, they meet at a coffee shop called Coffee and Vanilla.
Oh, how creative.
How quaint.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading
Also,
the description about how the male lead has a dark past. What is his dark past?
We don't know. I was reading
Of course.
somewhere that
Why would they say that?
I don't know. I think that at some point I was reading where someone's like, "Oh, in the manga, it's implied that he's bisexual."
Oh,
but
very
also,
dark
like,
past.
That doesn't come up at all in this show.
Past.
I'm not reading a manga.
I'm not reading the manga, so I don't know what I can't tell you what the dark past is. The girl does almost get kidnapped and almost sexually assaulted, but even that is boring.
I'm even watching
It's
comments
almost
and it
boring.
says, the comments are like, it just doesn't make logical sense to the kidnapping.
Nothing about it makes logical sense. Like, the kidnapping doesn't make any logical sense. And then it ends so quickly, and then, like, she leaves him, but then comes back 5 minutes later and they get engaged, and I'm like,
No!
Oh, boy.
In
What
the
is
same
happening?
episode, they're like, we're done. Never see you again. But I
and then they
liked
get
him.
back.
Kid, you...
Alright, we're back together.
We're
I
married.
can't tell how much time has
Oh my
passed,
gosh.
either.
Oh, boy.
This could have all taken place in, like, a week. This could have taken
It
place
probably
in
was
4
filmed
years.
within a week,
Yeah,
so...
seriously.
Nothing has
Considering
happened.
it's
Like,
only
there's
10
no
episodes.
personality to anyone. I can't even call it a love triangle, because if first male lead gets no personality, God imagine second male lead's personality.
Oh, boy.
Which is just like, there's sort
The
of
fact that
supposed to
there
be
is
love
a
triangle,
second
but there
male.
isn't. It's so bad. This is also partially the reason I don't watch Japanese dramas. Because I've yet to see a good one, and also, like, I just feel like nothing happens, they lack any kind of substance, and I kind of just, like, the only good thing is that they're short. They only have 25-minute episodes.
Yeah.
But the thing with a 25-minute episode is that you're trying
still
to
losing 25 minutes.
like that's 25 minutes of my life for one, and two, like you can't tell an interesting story in 25 minutes.
I might have to watch
you
it.
Can,
I feel like I
but
need
it's
to
harder.
watch it now just because I need to see how nothing it is, and now knowing
Short
how
it
short
is,
it is,
yeah.
I feel like it needs. I just need to have that
Yeah, it's less
experience.
than 5 hours of your life,
Yeah.
Caleb.
You could
Probably
watch
should
it in a
experience
weekend.
it.
I don't know.
It's so bad.
Yikes.
Honestly,
Big
and this
yikes.
is me saying it's the worst show I've ever seen.
Yeah, and she's watched a few more than
Just
I
a few
have,
more.
I'll tell.
Somehow this
couple
made me
handful.
angrier than the one with the actual worst male character I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's just so much nothing that I just felt like I was, cuz I don't personally think that ever watching something is a waste of your time. Like you're going to get something out of everything, at least a conversation topic. This show I think actually wasted my time.
Ooh.
Nice.
And that's why.
And it wasn't
Like,
even that much.
like,
Yeah, okay.
Like, even you, Prince Handsome Cowboy, there's parts of it I found interesting. Like, there's parts of it, like
you
it
can,
looked
and you
nice,
can
I
at
like
least
horses,
have
I like...
conversation topics about how bad it is. It seems like
Yes.
this is so much nothing that you
I
can't
feel
even
like
talk
I'm going
about
in
it.
circles saying, like, nothing is nothing, and I hate,
Yeah.
like, I don't know
It's
what
like you
to
can't
say.
even think
It's
of
just
anything
so
to talk
nothing.
about because nothing is happening.
It's so vanilla. That's the way to describe it. It is the vanilla of dramas where, like, it's nothing.
It's the
No,
basics.
it's not even vanilla. That's wrong. That's wrong. It is the air of dramas.
No, oh no.
There's just nothing there.
Yeah, it's like it literally sounds like an outline without a script, and it's just like, all right, we have the plot. Let's just roll with it, see what happens, and call it a day. And if people
And
want
maybe
more,
it's just
they can
I
go read the
don't-
manga instead.
I guess.
That's the
And
like.
it just might be maybe I don't like the Japanese drama acting style, but I
maybe.
also don't think they were that good of actors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That is
That's
I don't
weird.
watch enough Japanese drama to be able to judge that.
Yeah.
I feel
I've
like
only seen like 3, and it was this, the Death Note drama,
Oh, the Death
and
Note
the one that starred
drama.
Taemin.
I've seen clips of the one that Elle was in, and that seems horrible. So
Elle was in a Japanese drama.
it was. It's not good.
Oh, fun. I can't imagine it was. Taemin's was also not. I almost put Taemin's Japanese drama on here. But the other problem with that is just very confusing.
Yeah.
okay.
And also not good.
Well,
Don't watch that one either.
Don't watch any of
I'll,
these shows.
yeah, don't unless you're
None of
me,
them.
and we'll give a couple of them a shot. Maybe
Because
who knows?
I actually think Dan will like some of them.
Yeah, there's a couple in here that Dan would enjoy.
I definitely am going to watch Producers, or at least attempt to.
Yeah.
I might drop it if I don't, but it sounds like a drama I'd like. Plus, the cast already is someone people I care about too, so I like that guy. Is
Everything
he the
about
main
that
lead?
sounds like a you drama.
I know, which is so funny to me because anytime we talked about our best dramas, I just described that, and you guys are like, "That sounds boring."
I was like,
and I'm
I
like,
never
"What
wanna
are you
watch
talking
that."
about? Have you ever even no?" So, yeah, we'll see.
Well, how about we end this? How about we end this by giving people actual good dramas they can watch instead?
Oh, that's a good idea.
What is a drama you've watched relatively recently that you want to just say, "Hey, people, watch this," instead of watching any of these terrible,
of any
terrible
of these
shows
other
that you should
ones.
avoid at all at any given ability. Like, just don't watch any of it.
No.
All right, I can go first because
Yeah, go ahead.
I haven't watched enough to know better. But 2 dramas because I can't. One, I want to just point out I did watch My Secretary Kim, which was one of the best dramas, and I highly enjoyed it. So that's one. But I think I'd like to recommend more is Goblin. I really like that. I finally watched that. I'm catching up on all the
truly
big.
underrated show.
Oh
Goblin.
yes, watch Goblin. It lived up to the hype. I went through all the emotions and I liked it a lot. Of course, this was on Kayla's and Sammy's disapproval, saying don't watch it. It's boring. And I'm like, all right, let me
means
watch
you
it.
gotta
And
watch
I'm
it
like,
now.
oh, it's great. What are you talking about? And then
It's not good. It's very boring.
yeah. And so, Goblin, very fun. I did enjoy it. The characters, especially the side characters, really sold me on it. And that's something that was you're talking about, especially with Eternal Monarch, is that it. I mean, it sounds very similar, which is why I'm like almost tempted. It literally has one of the main leads in it, so it's not like maybe, but like the fact don't
Don't.
the fact that it's like with Goblin, they just like this is a universe you're in, deal with it. There are ghosts and there is like reincarnation, so deal with it. Like this is just a fact. It seems with Eternal Monarch, they just kind of like bend the rules a lot, and they're just like, why are you explaining? Just accept that it's a fact at that point. So that might be something that annoys me, because I do like to have a really plain world build, and then I can just build it up in my head and make sense of it. But when you try to explain it, it becomes less interesting, which is why I think I like Goblin so much, because it built a world and then didn't need to explain it, and I could just understand it for what it was in my way. I mean, that way I can enjoy it. And Eternal Monarch, the more explaining you do, the more you're setting you up for failure. And then when you have to introduce time travel, ouch. So yeah, Goblin, good. I highly recommend it. It lived up to the hype to me.
Kayla,
So-
do you want to recommend
So
something?
what I have now done is I have now picked a drama in a similar genre to all of my 5 worst dramas that I think are better. So in the same realm of like high school love on a cheese in the trap, like high school, college, weird love story things that are happening. Ones I recommended instead is Weightlifting Fairy Kimbukju. I think that is adorable. High school like drama, like high school romance. It's essentially a sports anime, so if you like sports animes, you'll love that show. And then
It's a very good show.
also
I really like
Bring
it.
It On Ghost is like a college romance type of thing, but there's also like a supernatural element. I think that's really good. I said this before, but instead of producers, I like Hit the Top, or it's the best hit. It's got like 20 different titles to it. I don't know, but that is a similar style drama that I think is much, much better than that one. Morum School is just like such a weird a weird show that I guess Extraordinary You is the one that I can think of that's most similar in a realm to that. Extraordinary You is a great drama. Love that. Watch that instead. And then Missing 9 is also just such a weird drama that the closest thing of something that I've watched I can think of that's better is a drama called Lookout/Guardians. That's sort of about this. It's like a kind of like in the legal crime drama genre. It's about these like 4 people who are, some of them work in like law enforcement and whatever in those jobs, but they're secretly working against like this bigger corruption that they found in the system. And I think that's a much better, definitely a much better drama than Missing 9. So yes.
Missing 9 seems like the biggest disappointment.
Missing 9
that
was
show,
just
man.
a journey we all
That
took together.
whole show is something. And
Sammy, you got any good dramas in your hundreds and hundreds that you've seen? There's got to be at least
So-
one.
Again, if I recommend all of the shows that I mentioned when I locked the King Eternal Monarch, watch Crash Landing on You, watch Sense of the Sun, watch Goblin over that show. I recommend all of the other You Princes.
all of them except
My
that
favorite
one.
favorite.
Literally every other one.
All of the other ones were fine. Personally, my favorites were Foxy Pilot and what's the other one?
I don't think I can get on board with that
With
name.
Foxy
Though.
Pilot.
I don't want to
Foxy
watch
Pilot
you
and
Prince
Single
Foxy
Lawyer?
Pilot. Oh, this is some
So-
hot. Handsome
Fox-
Cowboy is a pretty bad name in itself. I don't. Ty, where are you doing with your titles? I hope it's all translation
is
errors.
Is it better or worse than Extroverted Humanist, which is
Oh, I
my
hate that.
gosh. That's so bad. Okay. Yeah,
Badly
interesting.
Politics,
Oh man.
What?
which is another good
titles.
one.
Uh,
I'm only giving you the good ones. So like those 4 are good.
Mm-hmm.
If you want just like recent shows that I've watched that are very good, so a show that actually has like a mature romance that's better than Coffee and Vanilla is 3 Will Be Free. It's a Thai show. Surprise thruple, guys! Yay for thruple. I also recently watched The King's Avatar, a gaming drama. That's just really fun and really well done. Gaming. And if you want just a sweet romance, I really enjoyed Intense Love. Intense Love is on YouTube if you want to watch it, and it's just a really cute, Chinese drama, kind of short. It's only 24 episodes and has like 2 really sweet couples in it.
Kind of short, only
And
24 episodes.
Kind of short. And also, if you want a very short show, I watched like in a day Mr. Heart on Viki. It's a 8 like 15-minute episodes, and it's very sweet.
Aw.
So those are my recommendations. That one's about it's another like college show.
Well, that's been another episode for Drama November. I'm glad we ended off with some good dramas, as well as some of our favorite bad dramas, which will soon maybe become some of my favorites. So looking forward to that. Thanks, Kayla and Sammi, for burdening your time to watch such delicacies such as Handsome Cowboy and Moram School, because I would
I mean, who
have
else is
even
gonna
considered
watch those
it.
if we didn't?
Apparently,
Exactly.
where your budget gets cut and you have to end quickly. I just want to do a shameless plug of our social media. We're podcasting now on Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts if you're there. And if you're there, please check out our YouTube channel. We do lots of fun clip videos where we make fun of each other and share some of our favorite songs or albums or whatever we do. So have fun, and if you're on YouTube, again, check the podcast on Spotify and stuff. So our Twitter is pretty active thanks to our patent pending social media manager, Kayla. She keeps it fun and fresh, sharing some of the songs that we do and all of my bad opinions that she has to clown me for in front of the world.
Yep.
So if you want to see more of bad Dan opinions, that's a good place to
Running
look.
the social media means I get to clown the other members of the podcast.
It is the privilege,
Mostly
which is
Dan.
Mostly Dan.
well, I do say the worst things, so it's fair. Yeah, thanks again. Hit that subscribe button if you want to keep more followings.
Words,
Yeah,
Dan.
more
follow-
followings. Yeah. That's it. That's all I got.
All right.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye.